All right, UFC Charlotte is in the books now. Took place a few hours ago. I've got a lot to say about this card. Oh boy, am I salty about this one. I'm a little bit late to get this one out. I was actually at a kickboxing event last night. Watched my sister have her first amateur fight. Absolutely murked that bitch. Well done, sis. Good job. Anyway, I'm going to get straight into the card pretty much. Like and subscribe as always. Join me on Twitter. It's really popping off there. Let's just go. All right, first fight on the card was between Clarke and Lisboa. I originally actually picked Clarke in this one, but ended up doing a little flip-flop at the last minute, which I'm going to show you. Yeah, it was a nice little card to start, nice little fight to start the card, to be fair. Pretty even scrap between the two of them. Key moments for me really were when Lisboa managed to get that hip toss in the first round, which took the round for her. And then in the third, she managed to get Clarke down again and find a sub at the end. Really important that she did this, because in a fight that's this close, even though I had her winning, you know, you never know what the judges are going to be thinking. She managed to latch up the sub, end of the third round. Really brilliant performance. Yeah, so this took me off to 1-0 on the cards. Fortunately, I managed to bet on this, but the parlay did get fucked up, which I'm going to get into very shortly. All right, holy fuck. I did pick Bryan Battle to win. I did not expect him to win like this. Gabe Greene came out there like a bat out of hell. You can't do that at this level, and he just got smacked. Beautiful counter right. 17 seconds into the fight, he got murked. I actually thought he was dead. Like, he got absolutely flatlined. Really impressive performance from Bryan Battle. I said that people were sleeping on this guy. He was the underdog going into this one, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that. Brilliant. Just this guy's going to be a problem at welterweight. I don't see him being a champion or anything, but for anyone kind of around the middle of the division, you don't really want to be bumping into this guy. He's pretty well skilled, and yeah, I think he's going to be a problem in the division going forward. Really nice win, 17 seconds. Not good for Gabe Greene, but yeah, that took me to 2-0. This was the one. This was the one. I don't even know where to start with this one. Ji Young Kim won this fight. Like, she dominated it from pretty much start to finish. First round was very, very clear. She took that 1-0. She was much more active on the feet. Second round, same thing. She managed to light her up pretty much on the feet. Bohm was looking horrible in there, as I predicted. Now, there were two moments of contention that absolutely ruined this fight, and I'm still scratching my head as to what happened in this one. End of the second, the bell rung, and she kind of threw like an up kick, which is technically illegal, and it was after the bell. So I get why the referee docked a point there. Don't have a problem with that. So for me, at the end of the second, I had it 1-0 Kim, with the second round being a wash with the point deduction. Now, the third round is where this shit just got bananas. Kim had her on the ground and was pounding away, and then hit her with a grounded knee, which we've talked about quite a lot on Twitter about, you know, how the rules need to change and so on. The disgraceful thing about this was, though, Bohm was clearly putting on a sterling level performance in there, saying she couldn't continue. She knew she was losing the fight and was clearly going for a DQ. That in itself is disgraceful. But what the ref decided to do was where the abomination really lies. After the fight was called off, he decided to dock a point from Kim after the fight was over, which I still can't understand. Now, despite that, to just kind of illustrate what a domination this was, Kim still managed to get up on one of the judges' scorecards despite being docked 2 points in that fight. She ended up losing by split decision. The way Bohm celebrated at the end of the fight was an embarrassment as well. I cannot wait to see this girl get fucked up. I'm so salty about this one. On top of it as well, like I said, the refereeing. I've never ever seen a ref take a point after the fight is called off. And what was bizarre about it, as I said, he called it an accidental knee. You can't say that and then dock a point. It was so baffling. I've never seen anything like it. I was tempted to just wave away my L on this one, but the reason I'm going to take it is because, frankly, Kim threw this one away. She made some really retarded choices in there, and she did everything she could to give that fight away. So yeah, 2-1. I'm not thrilled. It killed one of my parlays. Yeah, I'm fuming. If you haven't seen this, go back and watch it. All right, this was a starching. It was over at the midpoint of the first round. Carlos Ulberg is impressive. I know he had a little bit of a wobble against Nezachukwu, But for me, that was a little bit more of a gas tank issue. He was inexperienced in there. He went a little bit too hard, too fast, and ended up gassing out in the second when he thought he had him out and getting TKO'd. That can happen. And Nezachek, who's a tough guy. This was an impressive performance, though. It was measured. He kept at the range well, and then he just picked his shot and dropped him. And Potoria is not a bitch. Like, this guy can fight. He's coming in there with a very good record. He recently came off a win against Shogun, which I guess doesn't really mean much anymore. But the guy's not a complete scrub. And for Ulberg to do this to him, highly impressive. Pretty easy to call, though. I think he's going to be pretty decent in this division. We'll see where he goes from here. He's not the youngest, so he needs to get cracking, really. Nice window. 3-1. All right, this was another one I did a flip-flop on. I originally picked Cody Stamann, and having watched a few more Andrade fights before the event started, I decided to side with him. To be honest, I got away with this one a little bit. First round was very close. Could have called it either way. I think I had Andrade just edging it just slightly. Second round was very clearly Andrade. He had the best moments. Caught Stamann a few times without causing too much damage. The third fight was probably the most significant part of the fight in terms of damage done. Stamann absolutely caught him, dropped him, got on top, ground and pounding. I was thinking, oh shit, I've just reversed a good pick here and fucked it up. But, you know, Andrade managed to survive in there, grab the legs and see out the round. Very close fight, very competitive. Andrade managed to get the win by decision. Very close fight. Took me to 4-1. And as you can see, it was on my parlay, but the Kim thing just absolutely murked it. Anyway, it was a good matchup. Neither guy lost stock, really. We'll see what they can do going forward. All right, I called this one pretty much perfectly. Thing is, like I said, Carl Williams, first round, did exactly what he went out there and expected him to do. Wrestled Sherman to the ground, looked really good there. What I couldn't understand was he then decided to have a bit of a stand and bang in the second round, which shows me the fight IQ isn't really there. So he did take a risk in that one. I had the first for Williams with the wrestling. I had the second for Sherman with pretty good stand-up. And then the third, like I said, Williams just managed to keep it close and grind him down. Horrible fight. We all knew it would be. But yeah, Williams managed to bag the win by decision. He'll do all right at heavyweight because nobody can wrestle there. We'll see how he does going forward. 5-1. All right, yeah, this one I just got horribly wrong. Court McGee is finished. I didn't bet on this one because, like I said, it did feel like a little bit of a pick'em to me. And with Matt Brown, you never really know what you're getting. To go in there and do what he did to Court McGee and starch him at 42 years of age after over a year off is very, very impressive. I'm not sure. I didn't manage to listen to the post-fight interview in the cage, so I don't know if he's hanging him up or not. I'll have to look into that. But wow, what a performance. I was happy to get this one wrong. I love Matt Brown. McGee, though, yeah, it's not looking good for you. He's not the youngest, and that's 2 nasty KOs in a row. So I think he could be done out here. Nice little fight, though. 5-2, not going to complain. Not a heavyweight fight, by the way. This is a welterweight. I should have changed that. All right, this one. Alex Morono is the most confusing UFC fighter I've ever seen. He looks incredibly goofy in there. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. But fuck me, he's so effective. He's basically the guy in the division that you don't really want to run into. You see tape on the guy, you're probably in there with him, and you're thinking, what's my man doing? Like, he looks ridiculous. But he's so effective, he's so busy. First round, he was catching means at will, controlling the distance, picking him off. Really, really impressive boxing as always from him. Yeah, and then in the second round, managed to knock him down, get down on the ground with him and latch him up for a gilly. This is what this man can do on a training camp. I know he lost to Ponzinibbio, but he dominated that fight, and he basically jumped off the couch to do it. He was looking like a fat mess, to be fair to him, and he still dominated Ponzi. So nah, this is really, really good. He's still relatively young as well. Again, not going to be a champion, but there's some really, really fun matchups for this guy. Very impressive win. Domination. Tim means I think you need to go home now. Yeah, this took me to 6-2 though. Very, very happy with that. Oh boy. All right, I picked Ian Garry in this one. I did not expect him to starch Daniel Rodriguez the way that he did. I think at the beginning when I was doing this build-up, I predicted that Ian Garry would win this unanimous decision. He'd win every round. He'd pick away, keep it safe. This man improves every single time I see him get in the cage. I don't know what to say really. This was domination. He kept the distance really well again. I know I've said that a lot today, but it's more the way that Garry mixes up strikes that really impresses me. He's not the kind of guy to just headhunt. He'll go down to the legs, he'll hit body shots, he'll keep range very, very well, and then he'll find the head when it's when the time is appropriate. And he did this today. Caught Rodriguez coming in with a really nasty head kick, which I think I'm going to stick in the thumbnail because that shit was beautiful. Yeah, dropped him and then viciously went down, no hesitation, pounded him on the ground, job done. Very impressive performance. This will put him very deep into the top, but probably outside, just outside the top 10. And he's got some very interesting matchups coming up because, like I said, he's lengthy in this division. He's a sniper. If he can make sure that his takedown game remains solid, he's going to be an issue here. Again, we'll see where he goes, but this was really, really impressive. Well done, Ian Garry. TK over Daniel Rodriguez, and that guy does not get sparked. This took me up to 7-2. And by the way, this saw the parlay out, so of the 2 parlays I did, thank you, Mr. Garry, for helping me cash that. Good job. All right, I picked Anthony Smith, and what a mistake this was. Now, I was in the middle of this kickboxing event I was talking about earlier, so I happened to tune in for part of the first round, and I saw that Anthony Smith had Walker on the ground, and I thought, yep, this is going exactly as I thought it would. Brilliant. Went back to my business, and it's only retrospectively watching the fight that I've seen what I've seen now. Walker was impressive. He beat him up basically for the 3 rounds. Very difficult to know where to go. I think Smith could be done. I mean, he's had a very long career. He just looks very gun shy. He looks a bit worn. And Walker, to be fair, is a lot more measured. He doesn't really take as many risks now, which got him in trouble early on. It's crazy to think that Johnny Walker's going to be in the top 5 now. Very measured performance. And yeah, we'll see what he's got going forward. I'm not sure who I'd pair him up with next. I'd have to have a look at the rankings. Maybe somebody like a Rakic. I don't really like that for him. With him coming back, I don't think that's a good matchup. But there's a few you could put him into now, and he seems to be getting his career around. I do like him, as much of a goofball as I think he is. And Smith is just kind of insufferable at this time. So Walker by decision. They took an L on that one. This took me to 7-3. Good job, Mr. Walker. We'll see what you can do moving forward. All right, we all called this one to be a wash, and there was a few hairy moments, especially at the beginning of the first round. Almeida went for a takedown, and Rosenstruik just stood firm. And I think a lot of us were thinking at this point, is this man too big to take down? Like, has Almeida bitten off more than he can chew? But he stayed persistent. That second attempt was really telling, managed to get him to the ground. And the thing is, once this man gets you there, you're fucked. Like, he is constant pressure on the ground. He's got really good ground game down there. I said this in the build-up as well. Almeida genuinely has made one of the best decisions for his career that I've seen in the UFC. He clearly knows he's got a defiant skill set where he can go up to heavyweight and dominate there. There are very few good wrestlers in that division. It'd be interesting to see how we could do against someone like a Curtis Blades. That could be next for him. If he can withstand the wrestling threat from Curtis and actually do some damage on the ground himself, his stand-up's pretty decent, then we'll know if he's the truth or not. I still think he's 1 or 2 away. The thing is, at heavyweight though, like we know, you can literally go on a 3 or 4 fight win streak in this division from nowhere and be in title contention. So I think if he gets a nice win against the Blades, he could be in that conversation. This is going to be the guy who's going to take over from... He'll be in that band with Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, you know, when the likes of John Jones and Stipe Miocic are no longer fighting. This is going to be a guy to look out for. We all saw it coming, you know, not too much surprise. He gets the sub, rear naked choke. Beautiful performance, and this had me ending 8-3 on the card, so I was pretty pleased with that. I should have been 9-2 though. Robbed. Anyway, so my overall record this year is a very impressive 118-56, and I do pick a lot of underdogs, so I'm pretty pleased with that. That helped me to maintain my record of 67%. I'm trying to creep over 70 again, but it's proven to be pretty difficult at the moment. I will be back for tomorrow to look at the card next week. I cannot remember off the top of my head what it is, which is not a good sign. It's obviously not one to look forward to, but I'll be there anyway with bells on. Thanks to everyone who's liking and subscribing and partaking. Very much appreciated. And yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a great one.